autumn is here, but that doesn't mean that the heat must low down. No, no, no. Let's cozy up and cook a hearty tomato-based bean and bacon soup. I'll tell you the thing about it. It's thick, it's affordable, and it's packed with delicious goodness, just like Tumi Mukhwai.
Oh, yes, and the soup that we're about to make. You see, my friend, I wish I could cozy up with you a bit more.
Let's do it.
But instead of us dancing and getting our temperatures high, I'm going to get our temperatures high with just the food we're about to make.
Let's do that. Let's do that.
This recipe, my friend, for me, speaks to my heart, not only because it's delicious, but because it's nostalgic. It brings back memories of when I was back at Ekasi with my family and how holy winter.
Yeah.
This was the soup to bring out.
Kaya bazali bam. Hey.
Let's come.
But you used to call it something else completely different in Soweto, where you come from.
Yeah, again, most people, it's just beans, it's cannellini beans, butter beans, tina. A bean is a ponchis.
A ponchis.
A soup is not complete without a ponchis, right? So let me get back to the recipe.
I love that. Let's do it.
As you can see, we've started softening up our onions, our celery, and our carrots.
Good.
Whenever people cook, it is important to build, with your stews, with your soups, any type of meal. It is important to layer it out. So these are, in essence, the most important part. And if you want it, perhaps at this stage, to ensure that your soup thickens up at a later stage, you can add a bit more of your onions and just chop it up a bit more finely. Good. Because as it cooks, it thickens up.
I love that, because the thing about a soup, Tumi, for me, is that it has to be thick. When it's not thick, it's not attractive. A watery soup just simply isn't inviting.
Any hearty soup for me has to be nice and thick, and this is what we're talking about.
Look at that.
So we've gone in with our spices here. We've added cumin, like I always say whenever I cook, Mina. Cumin and paprika.
They have to be
People don't cancel me. I promise the outcome is really delicious. But cumin and paprika.
Well, I'll tell you, I'll be the judge of that.
Yeah,
delicious.
Actually,
Let's
the best way to decide. So as you're tasting that, my friend, I've added our tomato paste into here, and as you know, you can't even say anything, right?
Hearty, yes. Thick, yes. Delicious, yes.
It's on to it. So we're letting the tomato paste cook down a bit. Normally, if you're making this at home, just give it about 2 minutes because you want to cook out that acidity. But now we're going to start adding those parts that thicken up our stew. I've added some mixed herbs here. And our 2 stars today are going to be some cannellini beans as well as our butter beans. If you're using them from the tin, add them at the very end because you don't want them to turn to mush. But if you're perhaps using the raw, dry ones, you can add them from the beginning while we're adding all of this like this with our stock. I've added veggie stock. If you wanted to add a bit more depth to it, you could add a beef stock as well. You could even add some bones.
Marapo.
So, my friend, I'm going to go in now. As we said, we're adding our beans. We're starting with our butter beans. Our butter beans and cannellini beans are really great sources of protein, and they're also great sources of fiber as well.
Oh, great.
So, if you wanted to omit the bacon completely, you could, but I feel like, Rona, what we're doing with the times having changed, at the time, back in the day, the bones were, in essence, the only thing that was budget-friendly at the time to add into a soup.
True.
But man, just snubble bacon, man, just snubble prosciutto, man, just all these things that you could definitely add into your soup and actually give it that additional flavor. Because as you cook the bones in there and the bacon in there, what it does, it also releases its flavor. So people might be wondering, where's that meaty flavor coming from? Or it's just bacon in this instance.
I'll tell you this, during the summer and the hotter days, my mission was trim down, be skinny for the television. But now I can already see, with winter here and autumn just done, it really is time to sort of bulk up on the goodness, and the protein that you're going to be getting out of this is the thing to go for.
The best part about this kind of dish is that as much as you will indulge, it's good for you because of all the flavor and all the goodness that you've packed in there. So pack all those bones in there. It's going to keep you fuller for longer. It'll keep your temperature nice and high, meaning you'll be nice and warm this winter.
It's a hug from the inside. Tumi Mukhwai, you honestly are absolutely amazing. Go on to afternoonexpress.co.za, get yourself the recipe.